Welcome to Judica County. I'm your host, Cassandra Nicholas, and I'm here with attorneys Taylor Scruggs-Smith and Kimberly Lott. We're all attorneys with Whitaker and Hamer, your law firm for life with offices across the state of North Carolina. Today we want to touch on a family law related topics actually, both criminal conversation and alienation of affection. I do not practice family law, as I've made it abundantly clear. Please tell me more about both of those topics.
So I'll take criminal conversation. So criminal conversation is a actually civil claim that you can make against a third party. So the kind of standard for that is that this third party slept with your spouse, essentially. It is pretty strictly about you slept with my spouse. I'm suing you for sleeping with my spouse.
It's not about just like a casual dating situation. It has to go beyond.
Yeah, it has to be an actual, sexual ongoing relationship. And it's, in a sense, what we like to call a strict liability civil claim. And what we mean by that is that there's really no defense. So even if, let's say, one of the spouses was on Tinder, took off the ring, telling everybody they're single, if it turns out they're married and somebody tries to sue you for this, it doesn't matter that you didn't know. Like, you can't say, I didn't know that person was married, so I'm free. It doesn't matter.
That's harsh.
It is harsh. North Carolina is very big on family and very big on marriage. So that is one thing that's kind of pretty particular about criminal conversation.
Are these claims frequently successful? Are they frequently filed?
They're filed more than you think they are. A lot of people think that these things aren't alive and well, but they are. And sometimes they're used as a negotiating tool where if you don't give me this much in alimony, I'm going to file against the person that you slept with. So that's why a lot of separation agreements always have that language about, waiver of claims against a third party. Like, this agreement is in stone and you won't sue anybody else for what happened during our marriage. So criminal conversation is one of those big ones because it is strictly about you had a sexual relationship with my spouse.
What are some of the consequences if that claim's successful?
Monetary. So it is about the money in that situation. So you could be ordered to pay a certain sum by the court, and essentially the party filing that claim has to prove how much they deserve for you sleeping with their spouse.
That's an interesting calculation.
It very much is. It's no real formula. It's really just putting on evidence and the judge and asking the judge, and the judge kind of just makes a decision from there. So there is no calculator for that.
So that's criminal conversation.
Yes.
Is alienation of affection different?
Yes, it is. Kim, take it away.
It is different. Alienation of affection is more about you took my spouse from me and I'm seeking compensation for that. So the elements are that you had to have had love in your marriage. You have to prove that.
At some point?
No, you have to prove that at the time of the affair that there was love, genuine love in your relationship. So that's one element of it. Then you have to prove that the other person alienated the affection of your spouse against you. So basically took them away. And one of the things that people don't often think about this, it doesn't have to be just a lover. It doesn't have to be someone who your spouse was having an affair with. It could be a family. Perhaps their family interfered in your relationship so much that it caused your spouse to leave you. So it can be brought against
a sister, a brother, an uncle, grandfather, anybody in the family.
Right. And also, it's a lot of people want to file alienation of affection lawsuits to get back at their spouse because they're mad at their spouse. But you don't file the lawsuit against your spouse, you file the lawsuit against their lover. So,
or whoever alienated
or
them.
whoever alienated their affections.
Are those also common claims? I know that you've successfully litigated this type of claim.
Yes, they are not common claims. And I would say of the people who have approached me about alienation of affection claims, I file very few of them. Most of those claims, I typically tell people they're not going to be successful. And a few things go into that. Was there love and affection in your relationship, or were you guys about to break up? Did you have just a horrible marriage? You guys are about to break up anyway. The second biggest factor is the only thing the court can do is give you money. So if the person who alienated your spouse from you doesn't have any money, then there's no sense in filing a lawsuit against them. It is costly to bring a lawsuit. Civil litigation is very expensive. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars at a minimum for these kinds of claims. And then you have to look at what you're going to get out of it. And then you have to look at, can I actually collect that money once I get a judgment against that person?
But they're filed more than people think they are, because I think everybody thinks these are kind of archaic type of claims, so they're never filed and nobody pursues them anymore. But they are actually pursued.
They're alive and well, and people do get large settlements out of them. And the things that go into how much money you would get out of it are you've lost the income of that spouse. So we look at the life table. So if your spouse is alienated when they were 32 years old, they have a lot of lifespan of making money, and you've lost that income. So I would ask the party to give me back that income that my spouse would have made over all those years. You can also get money for just the humiliation, the loss of status in society, a lot of things, both specific monetary things that you can prove, and then sort of those non-tangibles that come along with your spouse being alienated from you.
These seem like such subjective terms that a judge would have to be ruling on whether or not there was love in someone's marriage. How do you even present a case that two people were in love at the time of a specific event?
Sure. And I have used things like, were you guys still going out as a couple? Did you hold yourselves out as a married couple? Were you attending neighborhood parties? Were you attending your kids' school events? Are you posting pictures on social media of you guys taking trips together? Were you taking trips together? Were you still doing all the things that a married couple normally does? Some of that would involve your intimate relationship as well. Were you still saying I love you? Were you still holding hands?
Were you still going on dates?
Were you still going on dates? So you're functioning as a married couple.
Was somebody sleeping on the couch all the time? Because that would show you guys aren't a happy couple if somebody was living in a different bedroom or had always slept on the couch for the last couple of months because you guys are always arguing. Are you guys still speaking nicely in text messages?
Right.
Do you have any advice for someone who believes they may have a claim for either criminal conversation or alienation of affection?
I would say it goes to kind of Kim's point earlier about why she does and doesn't file. Figure out if the person you're about to file against is even worth filing against. Because like she said, a lot of people do this from kind of a place of, I'm just trying to get back. I want somebody to feel the hurt I feel. But is it worth the cost to try to make somebody feel the hurt you feel? Because if they're, in a sense, judgment proof, and what we mean by that is, yeah, you can get a judgment against them for like $30,000, but they'll never be able to pay it. It's going to be worth the paper it's written on. Is it worth that? And I think that's probably a big consideration that people don't always think about, because it's not you filing against your spouse. It is you filing against that third party.
And I would add to that, if you think you have a claim, start preserving any evidence that you believe that you have of the interaction between your spouse and the person who you believe alienated your spouse. And then I think going ahead and calling us and having a consult with us, and we can help lay out whether it's a viable claim or not.
I think that's a great idea. They should definitely call you. So we thank all of you for watching another episode of Judica County. If you do find yourself in need of legal assistance, if you believe you do have a claim for criminal conversation or alienation of affection, please give us a call at 919-772-7000 or contact us on our website at wh.lawyer. Again, we're Whitaker and Hamer, your law firm for life.